The truth about the music industry and the truth about all the people involved in it. Well, the reality of the situation is there are a lot of people that will go into phases and they'll relate to certain types of music, or they listen to it because it has a rhythm for the kind of lifestyle and the kind of perspective that they want to have on life, when they're living their dream or whatever they're doing. And and all people go through different stages and phases, and some are different than others, and some are dramatic, some aren't. But I mean, all in all, I mean, life can be pretty dramatic as people go through changes and everything. So you kind of have like a multitude of different of things that people can relate to, or really, connect with or believe in or whatever. And the thing about it is sometimes, and a lot of people who manage to do this, is they'll make their fans into loyal fans by the content they put out there, because they'll have a message with it, and they can really make some loyal fans, and it's like brainwashing people in a certain way. But I guess some music connects with certain people and some don't. But sometimes it seems like they can build this up in your mind to where you don't like something else for this reason, and it's almost like it doesn't even exist anyways. So I guess everyone has to really decide. But on the other side, it's almost like people just get fucking lucky, and they just become the next big thing. They just become the next sound, because everybody's fucking partying and doing their thing anyway. They don't give a fuck about how famous a person is. In all reality, I mean, a lot of people don't give a fuck, or it's just music. People just listen to fucking music, and a lot of people do go crazy. But it's almost like it's just a phase and everything. It's a dream, and it's almost like it's overrated. But then again, I mean, you can make a living off it. You can make a fucking lot of money off it and shit, and you can do whatever you want and party and shit. So there's that. But all in all, I mean, it's almost just like, the truth about it is, when you're listening to something, I don't think a lot of people understand what the fuck listening to a song is. Because when you listen to a song, it can be relatable, it can put you in a mood, it can make you think things. And if you listen to a song, right, or a musical artist, or you see a movie, and it moves you or it changes you in a certain way, and then, because I've seen this where people will be like, well, this person changed my life or whatever. It's like going into a church and the pastor preaching about something, and then you give credit to him and God and all this or whatever. It's kind of the same thing, how like artists can do that, is they can make you think that they're the person that's changing you. But I mean, it was there, like a lot of this stuff, it's like it was there the whole time. So I mean, why sit there and be like, give credit to someone, or give credit to God, or give credit to anything, when it's really like, you're the one who's fucking making the decisions, and you're the one who's you're the one who's realizing whatever you need to realize, and you're the one who's doing what it do, and I don't know, it's just it can get pretty like dark, and just being one consumer, everybody is just a single consumer. And a lot of people, I mean, they don't think that much about it, and a lot of the time they are just young or whatever, or people like music, and they say they have a passion for it, but sometimes they don't really know why they like it. And it's really just an entertainment thing. It's there, it's sound, it's background noise, it can give you energy and all that. But really, I mean, like, you don't need it, but people seem to think they need it. So it's almost like it's become a necessity for people to have to have music and stuff because it's part of our culture and everything. But, you know, I don't know. It's just like this big thing, you know, just with everything, how music is evolving and how it, you know, how it has spawned all these different genres and how the history of our music has, you know, there has been different things that have been popular, and now you have all this stuff now that's popular, and people are able to make music so much easier, and there's so much more people on the planet right now than there has ever been, you know, before. So it's just like, you know, like with the internet, we're all evolving, I think, quicker with our, so like everybody's culture in the world gets put together, and it collides faster, you know, everybody's cultures and their thoughts and differences and everything because of the internet, you know. So you got all these different musical cultures and you got all this stuff. But one thing I think people don't understand is not only what music is, but what culture is. You know, because culture, you know, it can be family, traditional, or it can be just from a background or whatever. But culture can give you a purpose, and culture can you know, culture creates who we are as people in a number of different ways. And it doesn't really matter what you believe in, as long as you believe in it, it keeps you going and it gives you a purpose. But, you know, obviously there's some, you know, some sick cults out there, and there's messed up people out there everywhere, but I'm just saying, you know, just because you know, you might just casually listen to music even, and you just listen to what the mainstream shit is, or, you know, even for video game, like any culture out there, really, not just video games. I mean, you can just get involved in it, and people tell you things, like, because all this shit's on the internet, dude, all the time, dude. They'll tell you anything to get you fucking believing or to subscribe to their bullshit, man, because that's all it is, man. It's a fucking game, and a lot of the time they can just fucking act really well, and they can lie really well, and they can act like they fucking, you know, they're telling you the truth, and they're roping you in on some shit, and it's just like, it can sound really convincing, and it's not. And it's kind of the same thing with music. It's the same thing with movies and everything. But it's entertaining to everybody, you know? But a lot of people, they just want to play stupid. They just want to fucking laugh, and they don't want to take anything seriously. Which, I get it. I mean, like, who gives a fuck, you know? Like, just live your life, and, you know, a lot of the time it's like being too serious doesn't, you know, it doesn't even do any good to be too serious unless you're a fucking scientist curing some disease or something. But I mean, a lot of people wouldn't even care to do something like that because they don't give a fuck. They don't care, you know. And just because a person's a star doesn't mean that other people aren't who they are too. You know, it doesn't mean that just because they're the center of attention that, you know, a lot of the time it's like it doesn't even exist. You know, it just exists in our own mind that we need attention, or this person's famous, or we are famous, or whatever the fuck, you know, the whole intention thing of the likes and stuff on social media. You know, and I think that's one thing with the music culture that's coming out nowadays. Or, you know, it's always kind of been like that, as the culture of, you know, being famous has been in our history and everything. You know, it's like everybody cultivates a person, and, you know, they give them a purpose, or they just give them fucking noise to dance to, or, you know, they just become the person and the guy or whatever. But I mean, I don't know, it almost seems like it's just a whole brainwashed, like everybody's just kind of brainwashed, you know, into just the styles and the music and the dancing and the acting and the way you talk about everything, and the style of it, and the way you are, and what you believe. And not even, you know, and just music, but there's so many different types of music out there. Whether you're the metal guy and you have, you know, and a lot of people, they have, you know, there are a lot of people that carry their favorite band on their shirt or whatever. And you know what? Like a lot of time, they're a super fan. So you know they're a loyal super fan. They're diehard for the music they like and all this, and they have friends and all this that they make. But it's just like, I don't know. A lot of the time, it's because it could just be like, man, you're just the person who influenced them to be that person. It's just like, I don't know. Sometimes it can just be like the person got influenced by another person to like the music, and they wanted to be like that person, so they became, you know, that fucking fan and everything, and they won't compromise who they are. But it's like, I mean, they don't really think of it that way. You know, they're just who they are, and they have their purpose or whatever. But I mean, if you're really believing and giving into a lot of the stuff these fucking people say, and you believe that you feed off them or whatever, dude, or, you know, it's, you know, there's some magical thing, or it gets to a religious level where you know, I don't know. See, because that's the thing, is like, it can give people purpose, but it also can almost be like you're brainwashed into thinking that you need it to give you a purpose. So then it's like, and I'm not saying like the people are like obviously just like cultists that are like, you know, just pumping all this fucking information into your head to build them up, you know, in your mind to make them into these people. But I mean, that is kind of the way it is, you know. And it's just like, man, it's not even real, you know. And it is real, but it's kind of not real, you know. Because when you think about where you at, or where you are in any given moment, right? You're you, and you're the person you are, and you're at the store, you're at your house, you're out taking a walk, you're at your job or whatever. And where are these famous people? You know, they're not there in your everyday life. You know, they're not there in our everyday lives. And if they are, I mean, then wow, I mean, you'd probably be getting an autograph, right? Or something. But, you know, it's just like, they're not there, you know, and they're on the internet, so they are kind of there more because they're on everybody's fucking phone and everything, and they're all over everybody's TVs and laptops and everything, but they're not really there, you know what I mean? And you can even say something to them, or you can comment on, you can tweet to them, or you could, whatever social media, whatever your flavor is, you can say something to them on YouTube or whatever. Or even the you know, the community and the cultures that come out of it create these communities of people. And sometimes, you know, a lot of it is massive. The music community is massive, you know. So it's just like, you can comment and you can say things to these people or these artists, but it's like, they aren't really there in your real life, man. They're just on your fucking phone or your electronic device. They're just little fucking pictures. And I mean, even if they were there in your real life, what's gonna happen? You know, what are you gonna do? You gonna fucking marry some famous person? You want to fucking be there? I mean, why are you like so obsessed about famous fucking people, that these people that you like, that you want to just be there every moment, just like all these other fucking crazy people? Like, you want to, you know, you're obsessed with, like, people get obsessed and they want to, you know, they respect the person and all this bullshit. But what you got to keep in mind is, like, you don't even know that person, dude. And I mean, depending on how you know, you grew up, whoever's watching this or whatever, you might have a different aspect on, you know, perspective on who they are, because if you can relate to them or whatever. But I mean, in all reality, you don't know who they are. But see, that's where they build their credit and respect, you know, and, you know, they build themselves up for people to know who they are. So then everybody, you know, the more people they get, the more people that will, like, cling to them and assume they are a good person, or they don't really have any expectations, or, you know, kind of like, you know, they don't, it builds up, like, their attractiveness or the ability for people to accept them and respect them, because more people cultivate around them. And it's just one big crowd. You know, the mainstream audience is kind of one big crowd, and there's a lot of different branches too. But, you know, I guess the point of this is me just making a statement about people getting brainwashed and how stupid people can be when it comes to music. And you know, a lot of the time the emotional music, when they're emotional and they're singing that maybe like feminine stuff, because a lot of that mainstream's like feminine, you know. And I'm not like bashing anybody or anything, or saying there's anything wrong with feminine, like singing, you know, when they sing softly and stuff, you know, they're like, oh, and then they're emotional, you know, like they're hurt, or relationship songs or whatever. It's the same fucking song. It's always the same song too. Those are fucking emotional songs, you know, about, you know, love and breakups and all this bullshit, and how they love someone and all this. It's all just kind of the same shit. And I'm not saying it's not real. Like, love isn't real and love isn't a real purpose. I mean, because it is for a lot of people. But when it comes down to it, I mean, that's a whole nother subject. That's a psychological thing, you know? So it's like, you know, and I think some music can take advantage of you depending on your background. It's kind of like, and sometimes people aren't even trying to, but they can make this music that they had from their experiences or whatever, and they make this song, right? And people can relate to it, and it's like, holy shit, I got all these people relating to this song and stuff. And then it's like, well, I mean, they were naturally just a fucked up person, and they got lucky that people were actually relating to them, you know? So it's just like, well, shit, you know? I mean, it's just dumb. It's like, the fact that you're relating to something's fucked up doesn't mean you should probably be a fan of them or buy all their shit and all this. I mean, the fact that you're relating to it, if you even know that you're relating to something really fucked up, because people don't even realize that what they're relating to is kind of fucked up. And sometimes music that's not like relatable music, it's kind of just party dance music, sound good music. But there is a lot of relatable stuff in music, you know, lyrics and all that do come into play. They're an element in the songs. But, you know, if you don't really, like, realize how fucked it up that you're actually relating to something like that, maybe you should get some help, or really think about what the fuck is going on, you know? Because, I mean, that can really make you, like, you know, it's like if you're relating to some fucked up love song, I mean, like, you know, and that's where it's like, oh, well, you know, sometimes people relate to shit and they know it. They know they're fucked up, dude. I mean, that's the way they are. It's not fucked up to them. That's just the way they are, man. You know, that's just the way people are. You know, and sometimes it's like, it's not even that they're fucked up. They're just temporarily using it. Like I said before, it's a phase. It's something that they can relate to in the moment, because sometimes it is like music is disposable trash, and we consume it because we relate to it or whatever, and we vibe with it. And then maybe later on in life, or the next week or whatever, if we get over something, or we learn we understand what we need to from it about ourselves, then we move on and we throw it away, and it's like, man, this is trash, this is shit. But sometimes the timeless stuff and stuff that lasts long and can always be relatable is generalized a lot of the time, and it can be applied to a lot of people, and it's always relevant, you know? So those kind of lyrics can be just relevant, but generalized to a lot of different people, you know? It's like, for example, when you say he or she, you know, that's applying to a guy or a girl. But if you say, like, people, you know, if I were to say this whole thing, instead of people, I said guys or something, or if I was referring just to guys, then it would just be applicable to guys. But since I say people, then it's saying people, girls, and guys, and any other gender. You know what I mean? You know, whatever. So, anyways, I mean, I'm just saying this as a long, you know, a music fan. I've been a music fan for a long time, but also I've also done a lot of work in music too. So, I don't know. Maybe people can get some insight from this. And, you know, when you say music's your passion and stuff, sometimes it's like you want it to be your passion, because music can be a chain reaction of influence, where the people that are making the music got influenced by someone else, and then someone else, and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of time, people that invest time into making music are just trying to dream out to see how it goes for them. You know, so it's not like they really failed, or they suck, or they're not talented. They just, you know, there's a lot of people on the planet, and some are good at things and some aren't. You know, some people are geniuses, born geniuses, you know, or they're, you know, some people are Einstein is the only Einstein there will ever be. So, and you know, but most people aren't Einstein. You know, only Einstein is Einstein, the actual Einstein. So it's just like, you know, and so I don't know. I mean, that's something too. Another thing, and that goes into, it makes other people feel bad about themselves, because when you have the famous people and they, you know, and a lot of people know this, but they put out this image of what is attractive and what deserves attention and what deserves, you know, to be respected and stuff, and so then that's what most people naturally, they get brainwashed into thinking that's what it is, and they're stupid. they can be really dumb because they get brainwashed to think relationships are like this and everything, and this is the dream. How the dream changes over time too throughout our American history. But see, it's come to this kind of way. But see, that's where, you know, you got this person with all this attention, all these likes, all these people trying to get with them, like obsessed about them, and then you have all these people over here who are in the dark, who don't, you know, people don't like them. And they might not even be bad people, but sometimes, you know, people can do things or say things, and then they can get judged, you know, really on a high scale, to where it's just like, it's really kind of an extreme thing where they're judging you. When they're judging you, it's like, dude, that's bullshit, man. That's bullshit. You know, and then a lot of the time it's like when you're getting judged, it is like a true judgment. Or when people get judged, it is true judgment. Like people that they get locked up for killing people and stuff, that go on these rampages because they're mentally ill or whatever, they're crazy. You know, obviously that's a real judgment. I mean, the person fucking did this shit, and they're going to fucking jail and getting prison time or getting the death penalty or whatever the fuck's gonna happen. But you know, but back to what I was kind of saying is, people can get misjudged by kind of this whole portrayal of what people should be and what is attractive and what is everything, you know. But then again, sometimes those stereotypes we put on people are completely accurate, and you know, and they're just kind of, people are just see-through, and they're typical, and they're not, you know, they're just really easy to just slap a label on. But I mean, I think on a large scale though, it's completely crap, dude, to just have this liking system, and especially with music, because music is like the most, I think music and the fame and the hype in music, because that's what it is, it's hype. You know, people are able to hype themselves up with their looks and their musical sounds that they make with their mouth, because that's what they're doing. They're making sounds with their mouth, and somehow the person who makes sounds better than the other people are, you know, they give them all their fucking money and respect and everything. It's just, it's bullshit. That's how susceptible people are to their own purpose and their own self, and trying to you know, make themselves feel better. Because a lot of the time, you know, the reason why they like them so much is because they are everything they aren't, or they are something that they can't be. But see, they only think there's something that they can't be. It's not the fucking truth at all. They aren't something that they can't be. You know, like the famous person you see on the internet, whoever they are, and they put good photos online too, by the way. That's not how they look all the time. You know, and a lot of people, if they market themselves good, they put just good photos and just good stuff. And sometimes I don't know. It just kind of depends. I mean, sometimes maybe not, but most of the time that's how they market themselves. And then, you know, people want to be like that, or that's how they think the ideal person are. But just, this is what I'm trying to say is, everybody, if, you know, what you got to realize is, you are just as valuable as a person as that person. You are just as attractive and everything, just as smart, and just as rich too. Because if you think about it, everything is kind of an illusion, or it's kind of this, it's kind of not real. Because everything that you can buy with money is, you know, food and quality of food and different things, right? So the more money you have, the better quality of food. But really, everybody that can afford food is going to survive. So I mean, I mean the price, and sometimes, you know, people can't afford to get cancer treatments, or, you know, there's some stuff like that, because where money is a matter of life and death. And I don't want to say it's all an illusion too, because it can be a matter of life or death. You know, money can save lives for people in other countries. You know, money can save their life. So it's, you know, so that's one way to look at it too. But I mean, what I'm trying to say is, you can't sit here and just think you're down here and they're so much better than you. I mean, what you always also got to realize is that there's something out there for you to succeed in. So there's some way you can succeed, and there's some way you can be who you are, and you can, you know, you don't have to make yourself to be so much less. And I think that's what people do, is they make themselves out to be so much less, because that's what it is. It's like a competition of dominating other people with social media and attention. And it's just this game that we play, and it's just kind of like, it's just fake, you know. And there's only so many pleasures and everything in life that you can get. There's only so much you can have in one day, you know. And it's just like, it's just this hype, and it's kind of an illusion. And it's kind of just like overplayed and overcompensated. Anyways, so that I'm gonna end this video now. I think I've said too much and I went on too long, but that was kind of the point I was trying to make. I was just trying to make this this video, see if maybe some people would be interested in watching about it or listening about it. But anyway, that's all I got. Have a nice day.